seen in that video there on our Living It segment, we're going to be talking about couples when you fall out of sync sexually. What does one do to get the fire burning, as the saying goes. All right, I said I'm not the expert, even though there's some people writing out there that I am. It's all false, I tell you. And I have with me two people who are going to help us dissect this topic. First and foremost, I have Dr. Bright Redu from Max International, and she is no stranger. Most people know her, none other than Akuma Mama Zimbi. She is a relationship counselor, and she joins me right now as well. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
I have to let our viewers into, we were having a bit of a discussion, it got quite heated even before coming on air about this. I think whenever you hear the term sex, people's interest, it perks up. I have to say, this is a conversation of adult nature, so if there are minors present, parental discretion is advised. But let's just kind of get into it. Whether as a married couple or just adults having sex, generally there are times where people do tend to fall out of sync. I just want to, before we get into it, what can be some of the causes? Doc, what do you think some of the causes? If you're a couple that used to have sex all the time and now, one person wants it, one person doesn't, what can be some of the causes?
Well, if you permit me, I have to say something before we go into the causes.
Please, yes.
So we have sexual discriminancy disorder, where the frequency of sex between two partners varies. Some maybe say 10, the other 8. Then we have sexual desire disorders, where one is hypoactive sexual desire, then one is sexual aversion. So the partner may not want to have sex
at all.
Aversion. They hate sex. It's nasty. They don't want it. And then they have sex, but the drive is not there. It's below normal. And then there are 5 stages of sex, the sexual response cycle. There's a desire, arousal, orgasm, and a resolution. So desire, there must be a wish for sex, a motivation for sex. It must be there. And then you come to the arousal. We have the psychological and then the physical. So the person must be stimulated both mentally and physically. And people don't take the time to do that. The mind and the body must be ready for sex. And then you have the physical things that you do that will lead to orgasm. Then there's the resolution. After the orgasm, there's resolution. Women do not have a strong resolution period, and they can go on and have multiple orgasms. But men will have resolution, where you cannot get up again and go on the road.
So one time for your mind, they're okay. Or
and then
twice.
They may wait about. Some people are back again after 15 to 30 minutes. Some may take a longer time. So people must know these things. Now, one of the problems is that people do not get the desire stage right. If your partner does not wish or is not motivated for sex, and you'd have to work at it. You must set the scene and prepare. So you have to work on the mind, and people don't do these things. When there's a couple at variance, there's an issue that's not been resolved. Some of the causes are depression at home, stress, financial stress. Then sometimes to just hormonal fluctuation.
Something very important, yes.
Yeah, so the causes are, there could be depression in one of the partners, stress, sometimes financial problems at home, sometimes a couple have an issue that's not been resolved, or one partner is unforgiving and they want to punish by withdrawing sex. So there's no wish, there's no motivation, the mindset is not there. And then we come to the arousal stage, the couple may not be aroused. And over here, I've had people complain that their husbands just jump on them. They don't take time.
Bedroom bullying.
Yeah, and they may be tired, they're not in there. You have to work at it. They don't do that. So people have abrasions after sex. People are uncomfortable with it, and therefore that can lead to, problems, and they will fall out of sync. And then sometimes during things like after pregnancy, when you are breastfeeding, just by the hormone change in the system, it doesn't make you have a libido. And then menopause, and then other issues. Sometimes the medication that we give to people, some of these conditions like diabetes, HIV, other things can really decrease your libido. So all these things are factors. Then we have the disorder. That's the person is just not into it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So these are the causes. So when the couple is having a fight at home, you don't expect them to really be into it. Sometimes, and when sometimes they have sex and there's no orgasm, especially on the part of the woman, they
can become very frustrated.
Yeah,
Women that don't orgasm,
frustrated and irritable, especially when she's had good orgasms before. Yeah. So
Okay.
These are some of the things that.
Okay, Mama Zimbi, I have to come to you. You're the voice. A relationship counselor. People come to you. People are very free with you.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, I think the question I want to ask is men and women. are we that different when it comes to sex? Because I think in our society, a lot of times sex is viewed as is the man's duty. He's supposed to initiate sex, you know, and he does it, and the woman, as you know, women are not supposed to speak. Is it sex for the man, or is it for both?
May I say, sex is indeed for both. Yeah, I'm happy Doctor has almost said it all, but I have a lot to add to it. Thank you, Doctor. You see, when he was ending, he just said, especially when you have tasted it before and you know what is in it. For me, I'll always say, no marriage, no sex.
Okay.
All right? Now, so we are talking to people who are really married.
But now, Mama Zimbi, let me ask you. The reality of it is, yes, it should be sex and marriage. But let's be honest, we live in a society, we live in a world where people are having sex before marriage.
Good.
You know, so whether it's sex, you know, after marriage, people are having sex.
Great. But have they been bold to tell you, Amma, that this is what I went through when I was not married and I gave myself out? I have 10 men who have deceived me. I've done abortions over 25 times.
Oh, wow.
Aren't you killing your body? So all that we are saying, they either take it or leave it. And people who are listening and leaving it are enjoying.
So do the right thing.
Do the right thing. You wouldn't die when you don't make love for 10 years.
Some people wouldn't agree with you, but
you will not die. But all I'm saying is, you see, and if we are married and sex is our responsibility for both, right? If you're cheating on me and I know, I won't be relaxed and say, honey, come and make love with me. I'll not smile to you. If your body hygiene, when we're courting without love making, we're and after marriage you think you can do anything else, how do I come?
You come where do you come?
I mean, how do we get together?
Oh, okay.
You understand? You don't help me in anything. You don't ask me anything. You don't communicate with me. You don't work my body out. Like right before the doctor said, the foreplay, touching, asking. The food is delicious. Make up my mind with so many things.
Let me ask you, do you think, I mean, people always talk about communication, but I think the fact of the matter is, and I've actually had conversations with some women who feel like if they initiate sex or talk about sex with their partner, it would mean they're a bad girl or say.
You're right.
They'll just be quiet. And I mean, doctor was saying some people come in with tears and stuff after sex. Why would you stay quiet for you to, you know, to be damaged before you go to a doctor? Why can't you just tell your partner that, okay, this is no good, you're being too rough? Why is it because culturally women are not supposed to speak up sexually?
You see, culture has killed many of us. And I thank God the year 2000 when I stayed on Odahumaso Adum FM to say it is time for us to call a spade a spade. Believe you me, they were asking, who is this woman? Who is this girl? Hey, things that we don't say, she's just saying like that.
So you were saying
like the way you drink water to be okay. You see, and sometimes we are hypocrites. Sometimes we are hypocrites. Love making is good and it's sweet and it's relaxing. Why don't you tell Kofi, oh dog, I am a yatobo. Where did they be them? Let me just change the style. You know, let me just be on you. You see, you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. No, it's too much. Let me get some water. Now, you know, that is when you're married. But when you're not married, you doing it. You hide to do it. You don't even people to see you working at certain times. But when you're married, you have the certificate. Any time of the day,
it's freedom.
Snow time, winter time, summertime. You just say it. You understand? But you see, you can talk to your partner to like and then love you to have sex with him or her. And it's two-party play. It's not a one-way traffic. It should be two-way.
Okay.
It's about time we stop saying, Rebecca must say. If you don't know how to make love, there are videos. You can go to the net and read. But you understand? So we learn.
That's a good point you brought up, because there's also sometimes you hear of maybe one partner is actually watching adult videos, pornography alone and not together. So Doc, from your point of view, maybe somebody's been watching pornography from a very young age and their idea of sex is what they see these porn stars or adult movie stars do, and they expect that kind of lovemaking with their partner. But that's not realistic, what they do on the screen. So you're talking about videos, but sometimes can the videos also be a hindrance as well?
They do damage. From speaking as strictly as a scientist, not as from woman's point of view, I would say that people need to really get to know people before they get married, because one of the things that
say that again.
People need to really get to know people.
Okay.
Intimately.
They get married.
Intimately.
So intimately doesn't mean you think you should be having sex before marriage. Try the goods before the wedding night.
From a strictly medical point of view, I am into premarital.
Please tell me why.
She will not agree with
Yes,
me.
I will not agree with you.
But that's from a medical standpoint.
And I know
why?
my mom at home will not agree with me. That's fine.
Okay.
But I've had people come to me where they never slept with their partners, and their partners are way bigger than them. This is a serious issue. After every sex, there's a tear. It has to take a month to heal.
Wow.
Where is the future of this marriage? It's just anatomically bigger. Then also, some of them have divorce just because of bad breath. The husband is not neat. I'm like, didn't you know? We're not intimate. We're not even kissing. Okay, well, I smell, but I thought it wasn't going to be a problem.
Wow.
And then how about personal hygiene?
Yes.
People don't talk. There are things that we find embarrassing, because I ask people that if your best friend has got bad breath, can you tell them? They say no. So nobody wants to tell them.
Oh, I can.
And then,
I believe you can.
And then sometimes it starts with an offensive vaginal discharge, and the male cannot say it. Like, I think you need to see a doctor.
So they'll think the woman is unclean or something, so they don't want to have sex
No,
with her.
it's just be clean. But if it's just something has come up, and then they can't talk about it, and it repels. They find sex repulsive, and then it leads to other issues. So these things must be resolved. Key. But I also think that people need to get to know people and people's sexual fantasies. Sex is not something people wear on their face. People can be really nice, like, but they have very, very crazy.
Why did you point to yourself?
You might see me here and think I'm cool, but you don't know.
Seem so cool,
you get crazy.
You don't know how
you get crazy.
You don't know how crazy I get when it comes to sex. So you cannot just assume
Doctor,
somebody.
I'm shy. I can't.
But you can talk about it without even practicing it, because you're not married. You see, if you're endowed, some guys think because I'm endowed,
That's it.
When I'm not ready, I'm not wet, and you want to push it, certainly. You see, and they rush into making love.
Is a problem, because I do think, like, literally, we have different conversations. I think a lot of times, some men, not every man, thinks that when it comes to sexual intercourse, as you said, whether they're big, is they get in there, pang, 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 I'm done. But we know, like, a woman has to go through foreplay, and most women, the foreplay they always say is for women. Am I wrong? More so than the men, or is it for both?
It's for both.
Okay.
It's for both. God, you play with my body, I play with it. Doctor, forgive me. But I'm touching you. But forgive me.
Play with
I
me.
should play with you, right? We both need to get ready.
Okay.
You see, if I have to use my tongue to play on your body, I'll ask you, do I do the same thing to you? Or what else do you want me to do? We talk it into it. I'm going to do what you want me to do, so you enjoy it more, open up, and then relax.
Communication.
You see, so communication come into this one.
But men are more by sight. So usually by the time it's going to start, the man is already ready.
But
and men must know that women need to be, handled mind and body, touch and all that. Sometimes the color in the room, the sound in the room, the lights in the room can all affect. People are audio sensitive and visual sensitive and then tactile sensitive. People need to learn how to make love. And I think most people don't do it. I had a woman complain bitterly. Her marriage was on the rocks because she said that the husband just jumps on her and said, I don't know the kind of woman he was sleeping with, but I need time. And he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it.
He just pang, pang, pang.
And they never slept before marriage.
So that's
but that is not the issue. Doctor, I don't agree with that.
Okay, no. Let's agree to disagree.
An issue.
Mama Zimbi, let's agree. Can I also ask you, sometimes when you're out of sync sexually, especially living in a culture where we do, some people find as an excuse of, oh, my wife doesn't want it or he doesn't want it, so I'm going to go outside. It's something with some people are even looking for the excuse to go outside. So let alone when there's for whatever reason you said, doctor listed so many reasons why somebody may not be sexually aroused or they're out of sync. So is that the excuse to say, well, she just had a baby, she doesn't want it, so I'm going to go and find somebody else, or he's too boring?
It shouldn't be the reason that she just had a baby and I have to wait till some months before I met him in Mecca. What is the breast doing there? In between the time, what's happening? What are the hands for?
That's creative.
Okay, so you have
what
to
are
be
the hands
creative.
for? You need to be creative. And if you're the type of person, premature ejaculation happens in every man. But believe in yourself and let your wife know it is this. So I have a couple for 15 solid years. This man wears condom. Because the moment the dick touches the flesh of the woman, he discharges. They came to me and I said, okay, baby, why don't you try using condoms? And I tell you, he will use the condom on the wife and she will get to her ecstasy. She will come and come and come again. And the woman will say, yeah, this is your time. Now, let me take out the condom off your dick. And then, baby, come and do it. And even if it's a minute, the woman is satisfied.
Okay.
So, knowing each other well
makes all the difference.
Oh, baby.
Okay, I gather there will be some people watching, some couples watching right now who would think that, wow, as a Mama Zimpi, you're known for your confidence, but they will sit back and think, I'm not confident. I cannot talk to my husband. I can't talk to my man. I'm afraid, because some people have those real fears that they'll say, hey, what's happened to you? And I feel person will say, because some people feel like if a woman, you're too sexually free, there's something wrong with you. How does that person who is really afraid, how do they broach up the subject? Should they talk to, is it counseling? Should they see a doctor? Like, doctor, what do you recommend?
Counselor.
A counselor.
And most married couples don't do counseling
at all.
It's not part of our culture.
Right.
You go to your pastor, or
and so you say pastor. Some of them don't even talk about these issues. When you go for counseling, these things, they don't even talk about sex.
Yeah.
And sex obviously is very important.
It's very, very
most
important.
Most people do the pre-marital counseling with sex, but not when they are married. We don't talk about it anymore. And sometimes you may not want to see a pastor. Because, people, when things are got to do with church and being holy and all these things, and they think the pastor knows them, you may want to see a professional counselor. It helps. You need psychotherapy. You need to sometimes and then pour out these things outside the whole church frame, sometimes. But in special situations too, you may want to see, pastor, because at the end of the day, everything is linked together. There are several aspects. Okay. Your cultural background, your orientation, your religious background, all these things factor into how you respond psychologically to sex.
Okay, I just want to caution, let's be mindful of the language that we use. So we use
sorry.
the technical language, it is still morning. Okay, restoration. How does one get to, work up to, I know you mentioned counseling, restoring their sex life. And my worry is there's still so many people that will feel so embarrassed. How do they restore it? How, Mama Zimbi, if you're a man or woman where, right now, you and your husband or your partner, you're not, it's just not happening. How do you take those first steps to
be brave?
Be brave.
Be brave. Mm-hmm. He is your husband and she is your wife. Sweetheart, there should be a day that your man is so happy, he's relaxed, and talk to him. Quite cool. These days, I feel pain. The way you do it, I don't like it. Before we were kissing, Amma, the last time I was trying to get under there and I stopped. The reason why? Because of something, I think that day you didn't have your bath there.
Okay.
You see, you have to have a way. It should be in a storytelling form. All right? So she would say, oh, really? Let's go to the hospital together.
Find out maybe what's causing this.
What's causing? Let's do this. What happened? Did you eat before you came to bed? And that's why something was smelling in your mouth. Do you know the trick? Let's make sure every time after brushing our teeth, we don't eat anything again. Or I'll do yours so you do mine for me. Okay. So when you do this thing continuously and you still see a sign, then you need to see your doctor.
Okay, so communication.
So communication is the key
Doctor.
In everything.
Okay.
Even at our workplaces. You see, if they don't communicate with you, you get so wild.
Okay, doctor, from a medical point of view, also, why do you think people wait until it's maybe, as I said, they have a tear or their husband or their whatever has been rough? Why do they wait so late before they seek out doctors? Why do you think that is?
Oh, they do come early. When you have a tear, you come.
So because that one, you have to come.
Yeah, but some people have abrasions and all these things, and
But what about things like lubricants? I know if is it recommended to use lubricants in the bedroom?
People are not. Some people are not open. Some people have got ego. Like, do you think I need a lubricant to do my work as a man? So it depends, and it just has to be there. A lot of communication, a lot of trust, and people being open enough to Sometimes people must be receptive to learn. Some people really don't understand these things, and I think that men need to learn. Most people think that you can just jump at it and use your innate things that you were born with, but everything that we're given innate is immature. We need to refine and learn. So people must learn how to have this, affair in the bedroom, and people think they can just jump at it and do it.
Sure.
People need to learn. Even when I was in medical school, before you touch someone to examine them, you must rub your hands together to keep them warm.
It's sweet.
You touch a woman with your cold hands. The response will not be that good. But how many people know this? I had to learn it in medical school. Before you touch somebody, you have to rub your hands together because your hands will be cold as a doctor before you touch to examine someone. So there are things that we need to learn to do. And when you learn to do these things and you understand, you realize that it's a two-way affair. It's not about you getting your way, but it's about everyone getting their way and then enjoying it. It must be mutual and everyone must have it pain-free. So we have to understand these things.
Mama Zimbi, before we end, do you think or foresee a time in Ghana where, and I'm going to focus, not just men, but obviously mostly the women, will be able to have the voice, especially because I know a lot of people suffer in silence. In silence in their relationships. If you're tearing and you're going, that's a doctor. Even when these women tear, do they go back to tell their husbands, or a lot of them, they keep it to themselves?
I was even going to ask him, when they come, do you invite the husbands to come? So you educate them?
Yes, we do that.
They do that as well.
In fact, there's been times when marriages have been annulled because of this.
Oh.
Let's say it happens 3 times. How do you go about and do it?
How?
These are real life situations on the ground.
So you should at least see, even if you don't try it before you marry.
After that one day, I'll leave it to the general.
Okay, so Mama Zimbi, we're almost out of time. A time where people would be at least free enough to know that, look, this hurts, this doesn't feel right, things are not right. At least have the voice. Do you see that time? Looking at our culture,
it's happening already. It's happening already because late night I get couples calling me to say, Akuma, my can't see and they are refusing now. Because time they come and say, Akuma, Nyari, and Timmy man yet. Now, say, come on, Konako Jari. So, my program on Adum TV is 11 to 1 a.m. So I tell them, hey, watch. Maybe I can't just go Jari. So I keep educating them. And, when your body is not just right, what do? I either just lie down, close my eyes, and ask you where we are now.
And that's not what sex is supposed to be.
That's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to talk through, respect each other, love each other as we said, and we got married. Because there's sometimes you're going to fall sick, you're going to be ill, and you can't be, you have to wait for him or her, even if it's 20 years.
Hey.
If you can't,
that's a whole different topic.
Then you need to divorce.
And then move on.
Okay. There shouldn't be cheating anywhere.
Okay.
But that's it.
Thank you. I wish we had more time for this, and I think
there should be around two. There should be around two.
I want to say a huge thank you to my guest this morning, Dr. Bright Redu from Max International, and of course, her, Akuma Mama Zimbi, relationship counselor, joining us on. If your relationship is out of sync, at least sexually, they've been giving us some advice on what to do. And I like what Mama Zimbi said, keep it for marriage. But Doc doesn't agree.
Keep it for marriage.
Doc doesn't agree. Anywho.